Hello students. In this video, we'll analyze the impact of change in demand or change in supply on the equilibrium price. So basically, we are going to analyze the impact of shift in demand and supply curves on equilibrium price. We all know that in case of increase in demand, the demand curve will shift towards right. In case of increase in supply, the supply curve will shift towards right. In case of decrease in demand, the demand curve will shift towards left. In case of decrease in supply, the supply curve will shift towards left. And equilibrium price is the price at which demand is equal to supply. So, how shift in the demand or the supply curves can affect the equilibrium price? Let's analyze it. The very first example that I'm going to take is demand for air travel picks up. If we speak about the current scenario, we all know that the restrictions related to air travel are decreasing day by day. The demand for air travel is increasing. So, how will it affect the airfare? Let's analyze it with the help of a diagram. In this diagram, DD is the demand curve, SS is the supply curve, and E is the equilibrium point. So, the original equilibrium price is OP and the quantity is OQ. Now we all know that the demand for air travel is increasing. So it indicates that the demand for air tickets will increase. If the demand for air ticket increases, the demand curve will shift towards right. When the demand curve shifts towards right, we'll get a new equilibrium point that is E1 and the new price that is OP1. And of course, even the quantity has increased to OQ1. So in case of increase in demand, there is a chance that the price of the commodity may rise. Now, let's take up the example of impact of COVID vaccine on companies producing COVID related products. Now, when I say COVID related products, you can take up the example of say gloves, which are produced by the different companies. You can even take up the example of PPE kits. Let's analyze the impact of COVID vaccine on the business of companies which are involved in the production of COVID related products. Let's take up the example of PPE kit. DD is the demand curve, SS is the original supply curve, OP is the original price, OQ is the original quantity. Now, because of COVID vaccination, frankly speaking, the demand for PPE kit has started decreasing. The demand for even the medical gloves has started decreasing because the number of COVID cases are going down. So even when I speak about the healthcare industry, the demand for COVID related products is decreasing. So now what will happen? Now, in this case, the demand curve will shift towards left. When the demand curve shifts towards left, we'll get a new equilibrium point E1 and the new price that is OP1. Of course, the quantity will also go down, that is OQ1. So when there is decrease in demand, the price of the commodity falls. Now let's think about increase in supply of onions. Now here we are going to concentrate on the part of supply as a seller. Again, the same logic. OP is the original price, OQ is the original quantity, or the equilibrium. OP is the equilibrium price and OQ is the equilibrium quantity. Now, let's assume that the farmers, they start producing onions on a very large scale. So guys, the supply of onions will increase. When the supply of onions increases, the supply curve will shift towards right. The supply curve will shift towards right. We'll get a new equilibrium point E1 and a new price OP1. And of course, even the quantity supplied also rises to OQ1. So when the supply of a commodity rises, the price of the commodity may fall. Now, let's take up the example of decrease in supply of semiconductors. Now, semiconductors, I can say these are the intermediate goods which are actually required to produce the finished products, or especially the finished electronic goods or the finished electronic items. Again, OP is the original price, OQ is the original quantity. Now, we all know that the number of COVID cases in China were increasing. And because of the increasing COVID cases, China has reduced the export of, say, the different products such as semiconductors or the different semiconductors which are exported to other countries like India. Now, when the supply of when the supply of semiconductors decreases, the supply curve will shift towards left. When the supply curve shifts towards left, we'll get a new equilibrium point and a new price. So the price has increased to OP1 and quantity has reduced to OQ1. So when there is decrease in supply, the price of the commodity may rise. So now you are aware about these forces, or you are aware about the impact of change in demand and supply curves on the equilibrium price. So I want you to analyze the impact of these points on the equilibrium price. What will happen to the equilibrium price, or how equilibrium price or what would be the impact on equilibrium price if GST on supply of bricks increases from 5% to 12%? What would be the impact of Swiggy and Zomato paying GST on restaurants' behalf? What would be the impact of decreasing foreign portfolio investment on exchange rate between US dollar and Indian rupee? And if Hero Electric is planning to ramp up the production capacity, how will it affect the equilibrium price? So I want you guys to work on these points. Thank you.